Hi everybody. I just did an unboxing of these amazing roses from Green Valley Floral, and I just really, they're really beautiful, and I'm really excited. You're gonna have a little bit, like I see there's a little bit of that one got touched, and that just happens in a box. That's part of the process. But I often will leave a sleeve on roses while they're hydrating if I feel like they're a little bit soft. Just because of the weather being hot or something, but in this case most of these seem perfect, and so I don't really feel the necessity to do that. So we're just going to go right into what we do. If this was a rose maybe from South America, for some other place, I would chop the ends off, give them maybe a good inch or two off the bottom, put them in good 5-6 inches of water, leave the cardboard sleeve on, let them hydrate for a couple hours. I just often feel like just that support of the roses just kind of helps the water to flow up better, and then without pulling all the leaves off and things, it just without poking holes in the straw, so to speak, with roses especially, I feel are sensitive to that. And so I just go ahead and do that, leave them for a couple hours, then I open up the sleeve, then I clean them, then I do what I'm about to do right now. But these are so great. These were probably just cut within the last day or two. They're super fresh, and you can just really tell by the stems. And so they feel really firm. So I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna pull some of this lower foliage off. I'm not gonna pull all the leaves off, just because I just don't feel like at this point, I just wanna get them in water as fast as I can. If I was doing certain things, I would probably go ahead and do that. Pull foliage off, but in this case, I think that's enough. And some of these varieties are great. They don't have hardly any thorns, and so I can just literally just pull the leaves right off. And the other good thing is when you have a bunch that's already hydrated, you can do several stems perhaps at one time. And some of these, I know sometimes it's a little upsetting or frustrating if you see a bruise on a flower, especially roses, but I'm always surprised that when you give them that chance to sort of open up, that when the petals start to kind of open, that then they curl back, a lot of times that just goes away. And so it's not that, it ends up still being a completely usable stem. Not a big deal. This incredible variety I just processed is patchouli. I couldn't remember, but it is patchouli, and it's a beautiful mauvey pink variety. This is the dolcetto. Sorry, my Italian's a little rusty. Beautiful lavender. It's one of my favorite lavender garden roses. This rose does have a few more thorns, so I'm just kind of picking a few leaves off. If there's some really bad thorns, I just sort of trim them, cut at a 45-degree angle, and go ahead and put it in the water. Spring day, outside, during quarantine, smelling a rose is a lovely thing. Sorry, I know this is probably boring sitting here doing this or watching me just process a few roses, but every stem can be a little bit different with every variety. Some of them are weaker than others, but it just depends. But all of these varieties that Green Valley Floral sent me are really, really pretty. So thank you, first of all, Kelly Shore with the Floral Source. We were supposed to be at this farm during her conference, and so it was an extra special treat to be able to receive some roses. And it's almost as good as being there. Really beautiful. hopefully those will be really open and beautiful for tomorrow's video we're going to shoot. This one is called Sterling Sensation. If you remember the older varieties of roses like Sterling Silver, it's kind of where that whole lavender thing came from. And so I am just stripping a few of these leaves off. You know, the stems all feel really firm. The roses all look beautiful. Let me grab a bucket for these. Be right back. Look at those. So pretty. And each stem has like 3 to 5 blooms on them with some buds. Again, I'm just cutting at a 45-degree angle, making sure the stems go in water. Because see, like right now, the stems are so top heavy that they're lifting them almost out of the water. So I'm gonna kind of make sure that they get in the water. A lot of times when people are processing their roses or anything that's sort of top heavy, they don't realize how just that balance is important to keep the flowers in the water. Look at that. That's almost like the size of a smaller standard rose. Okay. Gosh, I wish I knew the name of this variety. I'm gonna find out. So I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember what it is. But look at all those heads. This is definitely a beautiful garden spray. I think that'll be great in that bucket. Now I want to show you something. Now sometimes just because of the solutions that roses get put into to keep them opening and pretty, or that might be food that could be in something like this, you can see where the stems are discolored slightly on the bottom. That's not a thing to be afraid of, but I definitely want to be aware of it, because if I can make sure when I see that I take that part off, like I cut above that part. So let me see if I can get a close-up for you so you can see it. See where that stem is just slightly discolored? It's not a problem. Just gonna cut above it and then put it in the water. This one has a broken stem. Again, not a problem. Just gonna cut that off. Now, if I had one of those little vases, I think I'm gonna save this for something. And sometimes when you see growth like this, I go ahead and prune that off, because it's really not gonna really serve any purpose for what we're doing. Some of these, like, there's so many roses on a stem that you can feel the weight of them pulling down. And when that case, you know, in that situation, sometimes I do want to cut that stem a little bit shorter. I mean, that's what I do. Everyone has probably their own way of doing it a little bit. But I feel like if the stem is so heavy that flower is naturally being pulled down, I feel like it's going to interfere with the flow of water too. So I'm going to cut a couple of inches off of these. Just make sure they're in the water. Yep. And then we have these Gerando Gerber daisies. Gerbers are a little more fragile, so sometimes like that head just fell off. That's going to happen sometimes in FedExing. It's just that angle, you can't really pack them super safely. And so every now and then you lose some. But again, these stems, you can see how they've started to calcify over, or not calcify, I think of it like a cork. You know, it's dried and now it's like a cork, it can't drink. So we are going to put these in some water. I'm gonna cut a good couple inches off of them. Good fresh cut. Beautiful water that will give life to them. When I cut that bunch, I kind of cut a lot of stems at once just to be quick about it. but I could tell it probably wasn't the best for them, so I'm just gonna do a few stems, get a cleaner cut, put them in the water. And just in case you haven't seen these close up yet, again, this is a great flower. If you're trying to get the look of a dahlia that maybe is not in season right now, see how that is? Even has that curled back petal, kind of like dahlias do as they get more open. Chopping them off, dropping them in. Gotta clean up my mess. Beautiful roses from Green Valley Floral. Thank you so much. Again, thank you, Kelly, from the Floral Source, and can't wait to work with these tomorrow and with Jenny early. So watch for that video. Thanks.